this in Spanish, but talk about the importance of fighting on that weekend.
I'll repeat what I no, this traditionally is next to September, the most important date in boxing, and so traditionally you've had Chavez, myself, other greats, Canelo Alvarez, obviously, who has fought on Cinco de Mayo. It's a very special, important date, and it really doesn't matter. What matters obviously is the main event and the headliner, right? And it's normally one guy. In this case, it's two guys. You have Zurdo and you have Benavidez, who are headlining a Cinco de Mayo card, which is going to be, I think, probably one of the most important events this year. Because of the tradition and the fact that there's two Mexicans fighting each other, which calls for a war. So we're thrilled, we're excited. I think this fight is going to break barriers. I think this fight it doesn't matter if they're Mexican, it doesn't matter. What matters is that Cinco de Mayo, everybody celebrates Cinco de Mayo, they call it Cinco de Drinko. Everybody loves coming to Vegas and having the great time and drinking your few beers and this and that and watching great fights. So I have a great feeling that Tom Brown, Al Heyman, myself, we're going to put together a spectacular card. Literally a Mexican showdown. And Cinco de Mayo.
Oscar, so tonight we obviously have Ryan and Barrios. We've got Zurdo and David. With everything going on in today's climate in boxing, can we anticipate? You've been talking about working together for the longest, man, with other promoters. Yeah. Is this something we can anticipate in response to the pressure that Zuf is putting on, seeing you work with Al Heyman and other promoters more often, more frequently, to give the fans what they want to see?
Yeah, no, look, we with Tom Brown and Al Heyman, and we're discussing several cards down the line. So, and one thing about me and Golden Word Promotions is that we've always worked with everybody. We don't exclude nobody. We've worked with Bob Arum, with Al Heyman, PBC, with you name it. We work with everybody. Matchroom. We're always in position to bring you guys the best fights, and that's going to continue.
Thank you.
Nothing's going to change.
About the brotherhood stuff, where fighters don't want to fight each other. I know personally for you fought everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about that personally?
The brotherhood in boxing, to me is kind of like a cop-out. It really is, because if you want to be the best, you have to fight the best. That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter. I would have fought my brother, literally, if he was ranked number 2 in the world or had a title. I would have fought him. It's what you do. This is the fight game. You sign up when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, training through the amateurs and preparing your mind mentally and physically. And when you get to the best state, to the biggest stage professionally, you have to fight the very best. That's the bottom line. There's no excuses. Oh, well, I know him from the amateurs, or he's my brother. No, you fight the very best. That's it, plain and simple. So that's just my take.
Oscar, obviously, there's big breaking news in boxing. Conor Benn went over to Zuffa.
Yeah.
I saw your comment to Eddie. You told me, don't fall in love with fighters that break your heart. So just wanted to get your thoughts, obviously, on that situation, and what were you telling Eddie exactly?
Do I feel bad for Eddie? Absolutely, I feel bad for Eddie, but the great promoter, probably the greatest promoter in boxing, Bob Arum, told me, Oscar, don't fall in love with fighters. They'll break your heart. And I've taken that to heart, and I know that for a fact. I've been through it myself. So, Eddie, you got to stop crying. Just let it go. It's okay. Fighters come and go. Us promoters stay. So don't worry about it. It's the fighters that I've had, well, it's only been a couple, but like Canelo and I believe some other guy, but they come and go. That's the bottom line. Look, when you're a fighter, yes, there's something called loyalty and appreciation, and it's unfortunate that some fighters don't have that. You know, it's just very unfortunate, but you just move on. You move on with your business, and you know, do what you do.
Oscar.
Vergil Ortiz situation playing out, I guess, to that point.
That is look, my lawyers made a strong case for ourselves, a strong case, and now it's up to the judge. You know, she needed a few more days to make her decision, and you know, we're just hoping for the right decision for you know, we believe we obviously have a contract. We know we have a contract, but look, it's up to the judge.
Oscar, I was the only reporter that actually attended that hearing. So I wanted to ask you, I heard you say what you said.
I wasn't
to Eddie.
there, so
Yeah, no doubt. I heard you, say what you said about Eddie. And is it hard for you to even give him advice? Because according to what I heard in that courtroom, it seems like Matchroom's trying to make the play to sign Vergil to a 3-fight deal. What do you know about that? What can you offer?
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but guess what? I'll find out. That's the fact. Look, and it's unfortunate that I never expected this from Vergil Ortiz. Not in my wildest dreams, from signing him, and Eric Gomez, scouted him in the amateurs, and when he told me, wow, this Vergil Ortiz, trust me, is going to be the best guy out there. Obviously, I believe my guy, Eric Gomez, and so when we signed him, we were right, and we took him along until the Lubin fight, and everything was great, and I was texting him over the holidays, and then out of the blue. But you know, when you're ungrateful, I guess that's the word I can use. When you're ungrateful, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I've done my job as a promoter. I've taken them to the top together. He fights, and I do everything outside the ring. But you know, it's just very unfortunate that there's fighters like this that are ungrateful.
Just one last follow-up.
Roadblocks in making the fight, though, Oscar. What are the roadblocks in making the fight? If Vergil's asking you and telling you, I want to fight Ennis, what's the roadblocks in making the fight? Why for us that don't understand, what's so difficult about it?
Yeah. Well, let's just say managers got in the way. That was the bottom line. I was when I got him the Lubin fight in Texas. Everything's great. We're negotiating with DAZN. Everything's beautiful. I'm trying to get him the most money possible. You know, I started with a 60-40 because that's my guy. I want him to make the most money possible. You know, that's why we're promoters, to protect our fighters. And let's just say managers got in the way.
Oscar, just one last follow-up, based on what I heard in that hearing. There was mention of the fact that because Vergil filed this lawsuit, it impacted Golden Boy's ability to continue to negotiate a deal with DAZN. Can you talk about that a little bit? You know, Golden Boy's relationship with DAZN, and what kind of impediment this has caused for you in continuing any sort of relationship?
We're continuing to negotiate with DAZN, and look, we're hearing all offers, and I'm going to take Golden Boy to the best home that Golden Boy deserves. And that's the bottom line. And we continue negotiating with DAZN. That's the bottom line. We have March 14th coming up, which is a big date for us as well, in Los Angeles at the Honda Center. So we're continuing to work. We're continuing to make fights happen. I'm going to do what's best for my company.